It's your boy Sir Buck, and I have a question. Are Rudy Gobert's Defensive Player of the Year awards like Steve Nash's MVPs? Winning an award in the NBA is a huge deal. Being a multi-time winner puts you in a very elite crowd. And what does MVP mean? The most valuable player. Hence, the best in the league. Players who have won more than once have been LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Duncan, Bird, Russell, and Steve Nash? That doesn't sound right. And someone could say, well, Nasty Man won too, which is true, but he didn't deserve those. It should have been Jordan or Mourning. But at least when he won one of those, he was a top 5 player in the league. In my opinion, Nash was not the best player in the league when he won both of those MVPs. And if I really want to stir the pot, was he even a top 5 player in either of those years? Think about it. He wasn't better than Kobe. He wasn't better than Duncan. He wasn't better than Shaq. He wasn't better than Dirk. He wasn't better than KG, and though they were young, by 2006, he was not better than LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. That's 7 players right there. And I see the argument. He had crazy efficient numbers and made the Suns the #1 seed. Okay, so then in that logic, why didn't Isaiah Thomas win the MVP in 2017? He led the Celtics to the #1 seed. He had crazy efficient numbers. Keep in mind, Isaiah Thomas's best teammates were Al Horford, Avery Bradley, and Jay Crowder. All great players, but not Stoudemire, Joe Johnson, and Sean Marion. And I already know some of you are gonna be like, well, actually, in 2006, Buck, it was only Steve Nash and Sean because Joe left and Amari Stoudemire was injured and they were still able to be the #2 seed. One, if I'm really going to nitpick, they really should have been the 3rd seed. Because back then, the NBA went by division. And since they led the Pacific Division, they were the 2nd seed. Dallas, who won 60 games, was 4th, which is crazy. 2, at the time, Sean Marion was a top-tier 2nd option. In 2006, the Suns were one of 4 teams that had numerous All-NBA guys. So if you're gonna have the carrying the bad team argument, Nash didn't have to carry as much as LeBron and Kobe, where their best teammates were players like Smush Parker and Larry Hughes. And I know some of you are gonna say, who? So to sum it up, yes, Nash was the best point guard in the league. I mean, these numbers were nuts. But was he ever the best player in the league? No. And it's crazy to think that Nash has more MVPs than Shaq, Kobe, Wade, Hakeem, and has as many as Duncan, Steph, and even Giannis. Now, doesn't that sound like Gobert when it comes to these DPOY awards? Rudy has more DPOYs than players like Hakeem, Tim Duncan, Draymond Green, Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday, Dennis Rodman, and Scottie Pippen. And don't get me wrong, I get Rudy winning 2018 and 2019. His 2nd best defender was Joe Ingles, and the Jazz were making playoff runs with his defense and a young D Mitch. But since then, in my opinion, Rudy hasn't been the best defender. Here are surveys done by GMs and players who they think have been the best defender each year. And I think you've noticed, Rudy Gobert has not been in the top for a minute, and I can't disagree. Although I think the fact is dumb, the amount of players who have scored over 40 against Rudy is still insane. Over 20 plus guys have scored that on him. Even Ben Simmons has a 40-point game against him. Yes, Ben Simmons. So all of this is rightfully bothersome and has been a big problem in the NBA. Give the awards to the player that deserves it. Hell, it's not even an NBA problem. That's a problem with all these award shows. Like The Wire, considered a top 3 show of television, has only been nominated for 2 Emmys and 1 0. Or Get Out, a classic movie in the past decade, didn't win Best Picture. Or the fact there hasn't been a rapper to win Album of the Year at the Grammys. There's another constant pattern going on there, and I'm sure some of you picked that up as well. To conclude, Steve Nash's MVPs and Rudy Gobert's DPOYs are similar in the sense that they were amazing players, but they weren't the best in the league when they won the majority of their awards, and the most deserving should be consistently awarded. It's your boy Sir Buck. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe. I release content every day, so I'll see you tomorrow.